Are you in talks with our government or governmental bodies, ministries for business, and are they embracing this? Are there any barriers? Is it changing people's minds to get them be innovative in their thinking? How have you found that?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, at this time in our world situation, I'm really glad I'm in the food business because we're busier than ever right now. Okay, food is a primary element. Now, the situation and all of the inputs and drivers and everything that we've been talking about today have always existed in the Caribbean. The fact that the pandemic is now threatening the supply of food from these export countries into the region has given everybody an increased awareness and focus on, preparing for the worst. And the worst could be that the U.S., and they've already started restricting exports. All right. So supermarkets that normally would order 5 skids of strawberries, the wholesaler in Miami saying, no, I'm going to only sell you 2. So the countries are starting to hoard their food. So yes, there's this proactive focus now on food security across the region. And this is actually being led by CARICOM, as you know, with its 14 member states and 5 associate states, which is based in Guyana, the Secretariat. And starting, I think, in early March, there were some emergency meetings with all of the agricultural ministers of all of the member states, as well as the heads of state. They've had 2 of these sessions now, and in July next month, they're proposing an action plan, which now this covers all areas of agriculture. So this is, dairy, meat, poultry, and vegetable production, and fisheries. And we're working very closely with them. We have been identified as a very significant solution provider that can really ramp up production of vegetables. So we're in that one sector. And we're working very closely with the CARICOM private sector organization led by Dr. Patrick Antoine, and all of these, Sean Ba and Rule Edwards from CARICOM. And all of that's going to be kind of laid out in July. And we have proposed to them, several solutions that can support the advanced and increased rapid development of vegetable production in all the islands. So yes, to answer your question, it's very much in focus right now.
And I just want to ask you all, because obviously the situation with China, they've had almost like a stranglehold, not only on manufacturing, but food, and sometimes the food quality is not great. Is what's happening now with this period of uncertainty? Is it actually an opportunity for good quality, well-produced, well-loved produce to actually have an entry into the food market and the global food market? Because obviously the situation with China, that maybe people don't want to buy Chinese products. Is this a great opportunity for the Caribbean? I tend to think it is. But
it is. Transitioning any crops to local production increases the quality, the freshness, the nutrition, and food safety tremendously.
Yeah,
Mm.
there's a huge opportunity. It's very frustrating for us working down here to see, mangoes rotting on the road, and seeing the market price in the
Mm.
U.S. supermarkets or the UK. I'm sure. It's very frustrating
Yeah.
that the region or the governments in the region and the agricultural ministries kind of can't get their act together to centralize the production of tropical fruits. And tropical fruits is low-lying opportunity. I saw, a sour sop being sold in a Georgia supermarket the other day for $10 US a pound, right? And it's falling off my tree here.
Oh.
We need to commoditize all of these wonderful crops and certify them for export and start bringing them into the U.S. market in larger volumes. Great opportunity.
And I just want to ask, is that also, because I'm curious about the taste of tourists, and I've watched a few programs about these mega cruises and how they, supply their food and the luxury items. Is there a real need for change in the way people interact with the Caribbean on a whole, that they can't just come in and use it up? They actually have to be more mindful of how they engage with the Caribbean. Is there a need for change of attitude there?
Well,
Jason?
I think restaurants and resorts throughout the Caribbean always are trying to promote locally produced foods, indigenous crops, no doubt. I'm a big blue food fan myself. My wife is from Trinidad, so I grew up on Trini food, which, as you know, is spectacular. So there's always that, but the reality is, if there isn't a Caesar salad on the menu, I'm not going to be really happy as a tourist. That's what I like to eat. So I think that is happening. I think there's a lot of promotion in all menus across the region, and I think that I think that more of that needs to be done. That we need to promote local tourism and local traditional foods more in the tourism experience. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a long process, but it's underway right now. And the term, I suppose, is ecotourism. So some of the farm projects that I've been working on, just so you know, Ralph, also like Alonzo's, for example, in Jamaica, has long-term plans for a resort. Once all of the farming activities are in place and have generated revenue, you open a resort that is owned by a citizen of the island in question, where everything served is grown on site, where all of the, even the spa, cosmetics and things like this will also be produced in the country. And this is sending a message to tourists who say, listen, if you love Jamaica, for example, and want to come here and have a good time, please choose us. You come here and you get to really experience what we have to offer you, not just recreate what you do in the States, and you benefit the country in every way, shape, and form. You're feeding farmers, people who work at the resort, etc. All your money stays. And that makes a much bigger impact than foreign-owned resorts buying foreign food for foreigners and just paying a few locals for menial jobs. It's happening, and it will continue.
I think it's probably getting out of this, it's like this mind control of people just having the experiences and posting it on social media that they've been to the country, but they actually haven't been to the country. Because if, it's great if you're running down a beach and you're having a gourmet meal, but if you turn left, Seth and I were saying there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of unemployment because of this situation. So it really is, multifaceted, that, travelers have to be more mindful about how they travel and be more conscious, and the people on the island residents have to kind of be more assertive, I guess, and be more innovative. What say you guys? There has to be a change in the way we think about the Caribbean.
Well, I think
itself.
I think there's a generational change happening. I think young people really want a more realistic travel experience. We're moving away happily from that sun, sea, and sand kind of experience where you arrive, you get taken in a shuttle to the resort. You never leave the resort really for the next week or so. You're eating all the food at the buffets on the resort. You're sitting in your lounge chair, going swimming and going to the pools. It's never been the way I travel. I've never been on a cruise ship. I always preferred the traditional experience, getting to know the people. One of the things I think that's really unique about Anguilla is that we have resorts here, but we have not all-inclusive resorts here. They're not allowed. And we get a lot of celebrity traffic coming to Anguilla, and they come here for a couple of reasons. One, people don't bother them. They go to St. Bart's and they get, photographed by the paparazzi, but they come to Anguilla to just have a vacation. And they can go anywhere and go to all the local restaurants and beach bars here, and nobody bothers them. And they get a real, authentic experience here. And I think that is what young people are striving for. And, the food aspect, the culinary aspect of that experience is a big part of that. We need to get more local foods, more local restaurants out front in these tourism campaigns. Absolutely.